All my life, I have been told who the threat was. The threat often is somebody that looked like me, or somebody who's coming in the country, illegally, and they are out to harm us or to get us, take our jobs, do whatever it takes. And I'm talking about the real threat. They tell us what we should be scared of when we know by experience who we should fear. And the reason why is because so many of us try to distance ourselves away from Africa and the things that happen in Africa. But if you look at it, America is a little Africa. As far as I'm talking about black people. Even though we are one big family, sometimes you can't choose your relatives and your relatives don't want to choose you. And we know this to be a fact because all you have to do is just go to your own family. Sometimes there's so much love in that family, it just, your cup runneth over. And then you got some people in your family that'll steal from you, connive, and do all kind of things. It could even be your brother or sister. But centuries-old lies about who we should be scared of and who we should fear, and especially those in power and those who are, I'm talking about the recipients of civil rights era subsidies and housing. See, there's only 40 million or 50 million of black people in this United States. But they got 200 and some million Europeans here. And they had probably, when the Europeans got here, they probably had that many indigenous people. But see, the script gets flipped. You see, now you would think that the European is indigenous, and that the indigenous people are immigrants, when most of us were born right here. But let's look at something.
Did you know that colonialism in Africa wasn't just about taking land and resources? It went much deeper. Today, we're exposing 10 hidden facts about colonization in Africa that most people never hear about. Africa's borders were drawn in Europe. The 1884 Berlin Conference split up Africa with rulers and maps without a single African in the room. Indigenous names were erased. From Rhodesia to Bechuanaland, colonial names wiped out centuries of heritage. Africans were classified by race and tribe. Colonial powers labeled people to divide and conquer, fueling conflicts that still exist today. Europeans banned local religions. Spiritual systems were branded as witchcraft and violently suppressed. Native education was replaced by Eurocentric systems. Africans were taught that their own history began with slavery or colonization. Before I share the last 5 facts, like this video to support Africa Rise. Some Africans were forcibly conscripted into wars. Over 1 million Africans fought in World War I and II for countries that had colonized them. African economies were forced to depend on Europe. Colonizers built railways not for Africans, but to extract resources faster. Africans had to carry passbooks. In many colonies, especially under apartheid in South Africa, Africans needed documents to move. African artifacts were stolen and displayed abroad. Thousands of sacred cultural items are still sitting in museums in Europe. Colonization caused psychological damage. Internalized racism, colorism, and the loss of cultural identity are ongoing effects. Before we wrap up, here's something powerful. Reclaiming your story. At Africa Rise, we create African-inspired apparel, posters, and mugs that celebrate.
Now, Africa was divided up among Europeans, and there was not one African present in the room. Apartheid. And he talked about all the other injustices that happen in Africa. Now, look in the mirror. And you really think that our experience here was any much different? I mean, of course, they didn't get taken over, across the big waters to the new, what they call the new world. No, they didn't do that. What happened is the invaders, and the invaders are from Africa. In fact, they're the brothers and sisters of all of us. But they don't want us, the darker people, to exist. Now, they need some of us for certain things. And a lot of this stuff, we have to, really look in the mirror. We worked for nothing for a long time. And when I say we, I'm talking about my ancestors, and I'm talking about what I go through right now. Nobody likes to talk about, all of this is over. And there's nothing over. Black people are some of the most forgiving people that I know. But I tell you what, I don't see anybody getting killed when their hands are up and they are no threat. The threat is the people that's supposed to be hired to protect you. But it was never, the police department was never, ever about protecting people. It was about protecting property, which was people back in the days and probably still is according to the Constitution. But they keep telling us that, no, they abolished this and that in the 14, 15, and 16. Well, if you did, go back and correct the 3/5 of a human being, because we're all human beings, and we are the first human beings. But the worst thing that I can see is not Europeans doing things to Africans, but Africans doing things to other Africans. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, listen up.
After snitching to the U.S. Defense Committee that Captain Traore was using Burkina Faso's gold to prop up his regime, General Langley got hit with a plot twist he didn't see coming. Traore? Oh, he didn't just shrug it off. He dragged the general on Russian TV, calmly but firmly calling him out and demanding it. After snitching to the U.S. Defense Committee that Captain Traore was using Burkina Faso's gold to prop up his regime, General Langley got hit with a plot twist he didn't see coming. Traore? Oh, he didn't just shrug it off. He dragged the general on Russian TV, calmly but firmly calling him out and demanding an apology. And the wildest part? Langley blinked. He actually admitted Traore was doing good things in Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso, a lot of great things going on to progress them forward, okay? They make their decisions how they use their resources. They make their decisions who their resources go to for military support. That's their sovereign right.
After snitching.
Now, it is really sad sometimes when you look at the slave owner who sends his big black man out to fight the big black man of another city, country, or continent, while they sit back and bet money on it. Okay? And this is the thing that we can't seem to understand, is how we've been manipulated to think that fighting each other is going to put us in his good graces and get us what we need or want. And this is why I said the real threat is the man that's holding all the cards and the money right now and who's telling you what to think, how to think, and when to think. And if you think for yourself, you're a problem. For all y'all problem children out there, I understand.